Are Prism Shards the best summoning currency in Raid Shadow Legends? Guys, there is a real argument for that. Let me break down everything you need to know about Prism Shards Crystal's summoning pool, and let's discuss. Prism Shards, Prism Crystals, and the summoning pool is still a relatively young feature in Raid Shadow Legends. So in this video, I wanted to take you guys through how all of it works, how to approach it, and also give you a little teaser right now. I am going to be purchasing some Prism Crystals and doing 7 Prism Shard summons tomorrow morning. So if you want to catch that, that will be live here on YouTube at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That is 5:30 p.m. Central European Time. So how does the summon pool work? How often does it come? What are these crystals? How do they turn into shards? Can you get them for free? How do you buy them? How much do they cost? A lot of questions. Let's get into it. So right now in Raid Shadow Legends, we have a dwarves summoning pool. This is a theme summoning pool. Sometimes they'll theme it around an event, sometimes around a faction. You can see this time it very much is a faction. We have 1 headline dwarf faction unity champ in Admiral Black Tusk. Then we have 8 dwarf legendary champions, and then we have 10 dwarf epic champions. So in the past, we had a headline champ recently with the Cheshire Cat. Then we recently just had a similar faction-themed pool with the Knights Revenant, and we had the faction unity champ. Where is this guy hiding out? Here he is. We got Losan Clef. So that one just happened. That was the most previous one, and now we're getting dwarves. These seem to come pretty much like clockwork every 2 weeks. At a minimum, they are coming once a month. But what are they, right? It's different. To get here, normally you go to your shard summon when you enter the portal. Let me show you that now. And you don't see these prism crystals and these prism shards on the left-hand side of your screen right over there. You actually have to go down here to the summon pool, and you can see it when it's live, it's live. We've got 3 days and 6 hours left. Essentially, you will get prism crystals, which every summon pool, there's going to be a certain amount of prism crystals that equals 1 prism shard. Kind of confusing because it is variable. The last one, it was 40 prism crystals was 1 summon or 1 prism shard. However, right now you can see with this dwarf pool, it's only 35. So, if you want to rip a 10 pop, that's going to be 350 prism crystals that you need. So how do you get these things? Well, it's pretty simple, but it also confused me. So I was looking for, dwarves are my favorite faction. I've been looking forward to this, and I was waiting for any deals to pop up over here in the shop. It's a new month. If you don't know, I am balling on a budget. I have a strict budget of $75 a month, so I wanted to put a nice chunk of change towards, in the fresh month, towards this dwarf summoning pool. I went here, I scrolled around, I went here, I clicked around, this, that, and the other. I couldn't find them anywhere. Well, essentially, you're going to find them in the portal itself. So if you do want to be pay to win, you go to the summon pool, you go here to crystal offers, and you can get 20 crystals, which is not even a full summon, right? If it was like the last event, the Knights Rev event, this would be half a shard. So you have to get 2 of these to get 1 pull. Or if it's this one, it's 4/7 of a prism shard. You can then buy this bigger pack for $20. You get 80. So on this event, it would be 2 pulls and then 10 leftover crystals. And then finally, if you want to get the big pack, you can get 210. This one for this specific banner where each shard costs 35 crystals works out really evenly. It's exactly 6 summons for $50. So first off, let's talk, is that a good value if you're going to go pay to win? We'll cover the free to play stuff in just a moment, but you can kind of do the math. Basically 6 summons for $50. Let's think about it. These have the same rates as a Sacred Shard, not on a 2x. So you might be saying, I only pull Sacred Shards on 2x's. I hear you. However, this has every single champion in the game, all the good ones and all the absolute trash. This has a very, concentrated, narrowed, refined pool. You cannot pull any other champion in the entire game outside of the 19 listed champions here. So when making the decision, you can go to your Sacred Shards and say, yes, I could pull these on 2x, but I've got the much bigger pool, so there's a different kind of risk. And then you can essentially evaluate the summon pool and say, am I interested in these champions? The other thing to consider is these Prism Shards are almost always cheaper than what you can buy Sacred Shards for. If you decide to get the crystal offer that I'm going to get myself that we just discussed, you are getting 6 summons for $50. That comes out to $8.33 a summon. Outside of those level 7 packs you'll get as you level up your account, they're pretty few and far between. You will never see a Sacred Shard for this price. So assuming you are excited about the pool, this really does have a major value in comparison to the Sacred Shards. So the reason I'm doing this, and you guys know I've talked about it on the channel, I do not like buying summons. However, I'm on day 29 on this account, and dwarves are my favorite faction. So I feel like there's so many hits here, which I will take you through very quickly, that to me, it makes sense, right? As a spender with a $75 a month budget, I'm going to go ahead and buy this $50 pack, get my 6 summons, and then I'll go over in a second how you can get your 1 free-to-play summon. But we go through it, make this calculation, right? What would make you happy? So let's start with the headline champion. If you don't like the headline champion, it doesn't mean it's a bad summon pool for you and an automatic skip, but obviously that's one big, X demerit against the, it's a con on your pros cons list of should you go for this summon pool. But I say it's not a be all end all, like if you don't like it, don't pull, because it's only a 2% chance. So if you really like several of the legendaries, and especially if you like the epics and you're progressing with your account and they could help you, I think it can be desirable. That being said, make sure you like the headline champ, and I love Admiral Blacktusk. I love dwarves. It's my favorite faction. I really like the way he synergizes with all his dwarf unity stuff, both here in the aura and then, of course, in the A3. Really, really good. I'm not going to break him down now. I'll probably talk about it tomorrow on the stream. I hope to see you there. But essentially what I'm going through, and I'll pick up the speed a little bit now, I'm like, who would make me happy? So a final thing before we move on from the headline champion is you might see this and say, wow, I have a 2% chance to get the headline champion that I want, and then a 4% chance for these guys. That sucks that I have a worse chance to get your headline champion. You would be making the wrong calculation, right? It's a 4% chance to get any one of these 8, and it is a solid, clean 2% chance to get the headline champion. So actually, you're 4 times more likely to get the headline champion than any of these legendaries. It comes out to a 0.5% chance to get any of these 8 from Mountain King to Samar. So if you think about it, right, you're 4 times more likely. This is 4% divided by 8. This is just a solid 2% for Admiral Blacktusk. But then what I would really say, to me at least, we'll see how it progresses as I get deeper and deeper into the game. I think the summon pool, especially for a spender, like a moderate low spender, but if you want to really get a big boost to your account, I think it has a major appeal to newer players or players still very much progressing through the game. Because I'll tell you, as I take you through my checklist now of all the champions that would make me happy, the number's a lot higher, especially because of these epics, since I'm missing so much and so much could help me, right? It's a day 29 account. I'll show you, I have quite the barren roster. I've done almost no summoning. I've pulled almost no epics at all, and I've never pulled a legendary. All the stuff is from my amazing download link you'll find in the description and the top pinned comment, as well as the free code stuff with Wukong and the free login goddess that is Alice. I'm going to have a video coming out on Alice very soon. She's crazy. I finally got her 5-star soul. She is insane. But basically, go through and make your checklist. So headline champion, yeah, I'd love to get Admiral Blacktusk. If we go down to the legendaries, not many of these I hate, but I'm just going to tell you the ones I'd be excited to get. And that would be, of course, Brogni. That would be Herndig. That would be, I wouldn't be so upset to get Goffred. He's not crazy, but he would help my specific account. I'd be quite excited to get Kira. She'd be amazing for my clan boss. And then eventually she'd be for the Mikage fusion. And then I'd be pretty happy with Molly. I wouldn't be thrilled. But if we go through that, right, there's 3 guys, Brogni, Herndig, and Kira, that I'd be really stoked about. 2 that I'm okay with. That's 5/8. If we do the math and we each have their 0.5% chance, that's a 2.5% chance now that I'm gonna get one of the 5 I like. Add in Admiral Blacktusk, now that's up to 4.5% chance with his base 2% chance. And then the real key thing, especially for a new account, if you go through the epics, how many of these would you be stoked about? So I'll tell you, I do not like Fire Gun at all. But you do need her for Lady Mikage. So if we go to that fusion, I mean, this is someone we're all looking forward to as we progress through the game. She is one of the 4 epics to get. Who is this? Tatsu over here. You can see Fire Gun is right there. So that right off the bat, even though I don't like that champion, I'm pretty cool with it. Geomancer, in my opinion, is the single best epic in the game, and I'd be thrilled. That's a big reason why I'm pulling on this banner. Rearguard, yes, she's like an old clunky OG, but she would be perfect for my clan boss, so I'd be pretty dang excited to get her. Cornelia, shout out to my boy YST. We could have a lot of fun with her in the Doom Tower, and I think she's pretty cool. I wouldn't be like thrilled, but I wouldn't be upset at all. Now continuing with Phyla, I wouldn't be thrilled again, but it wouldn't be a huge L. She would have a place on my account. Same with Grizzled Jarl. He's like kind of, to me, the worst version of a rearguard sergeant, from this pool, but it's fine. Here's Fodboar, who I really don't like, but at the end of the day, AoE decreased defense, yes, 4-turn cooldown, probably will stay 5-turn. I'm not going to put books into him, but it would be something for Faction Wars. I don't have to be upset about it. We've got Melga, who again, not thrilling, but kind of key for Faction Wars with her little revive, a little double pick-me-up. We've got one of those in every faction. Then Morog you obviously get for free eventually from the Plarium Play Points program. That is hard to say, but an extra copy for Faction Guardians and then eventually Empowerment would be cool. And then I hate Rockbreaker. So you can kind of see. So if we go through the epics, love it, pretty love it, and then fine with a bunch of the other stuff, and then just hate Rockbreaker and kind of hate Fodboar. If we go through the legendaries, there's 3 I love here, and then I love the headline, and it's my favorite faction. That's the kind of analysis evaluation you should make when deciding if it's worth your cash. So why do I say if it's worth your cash? What about just doing this free to play? Good effing luck. But before we can get into free to play stuff, let me be good on my word and actually make this big old purchase. All right, here we go. I don't know why they're calling it extra savings pack, but I clicked the button. This must be the right pack. Let's go. Google Play makes everything so dramatic. Takes forever. There we go. Successful. And you can see, guys, it does load right in there, not to your inbox, unfortunately. So how can you get a summon free to play? Well, when this is live, almost always they coincide it, they line it up with a parallel tournament, which tends to be the Sand Devil tournament, in which you can get an amount of Prism crystals equal to 1 Prism Shard. So you can see that right now. We have the Sand Devil turn attack. It's the final reward. It might be a higher number for you. I'm still a young account, so I anticipate this probably goes up to like 4,000. You guys can let me know in the comments. But you can see right now I have been chipping away at it. We'll talk about how to decide early on if you should or not. We'll do that very briefly. I'm at about 1,800 points. I'm 1,000 away. I'm definitely going to get there. And I'll probably get there by tomorrow morning. I want to have it ready for the stream. But you can see here, you can get at 2,800 points or whatever your top threshold milestone marker is, you get exactly enough for 1 summon. So it's basically like getting a sacred summon, but for the summoning pool banner, because you're going to have the same rates. So we got 35 of these. So you can get that every time there's a summon pool. That's going to show up. I have not seen it. Let me know if they come at other moments. I've not seen another free-to-play way to get it. For me, I've never seen it outside of the Sand Devil turn attack, and this is the first time my account was good enough to actually bother pushing this. So that's a free one. One quick tip. So a very weird thing with the summon pool is whatever summon crystals you have will automatically get pulled at the end of the summon pool event, which is bogus and it stinks. You can't just hoard them and stockpile them. If they're sitting here in your portal, they will get ripped. They will get pulled for you at the conclusion of the event. You can see right here, when a summon pool event ends, any remaining Prism crystals will be used automatically and summoned champions will be sent to your inbox. There's nothing you can do about this except for one thing. So when you buy Prism crystals, they immediately go here. They do not go to your inbox. You cannot let them sit in your inbox. They immediately go and load in that currency. So there's nothing you can do. They will be pulled for you. Something you can do to delay when they get pulled for you, if you want to line up with like a champ chase or something, if you never click on this button when it goes live with an event, you never do it, they'll still get pulled for you, but that pull will not happen until you click that button. So if you click that button months from now, they're going to mass pull everything for you and it will all go to your inbox. All sets of pulls will already be backlogged and be corresponding to all the previous summon pools. However, those champ chase points or CVC points or whatever you're looking for, hero's path, those will all line up with what you need at that time. So that's one little trick. There is one final thing that you can actively do that's a little easier because then you don't have to worry about did I click the button or not. And this is to actually get the crystals not to go to the portal, but go to the inbox. Like I said, when you buy them, there's nothing you can do. However, when you finish this tournament, I think some people don't know this. If you don't claim tournament rewards or event rewards at their conclusion, they do not expire. They will get sent to your inbox. So that's one way you can put them on reserve. They will not get auto-pulled if, let's say, after this tournament, and maybe I'll do this if my first 6 pulls are fine or amazing, I hope, and I feel like I don't have to do a 7th. You can let this tournament expire, let it sit here, then it will, assuming you completed the tournament, obviously, then it will get sent to your inbox and it can sit there until you claim it, and then it won't correspond until whatever summon pool comes after the moment you claim it. So you could let it go until after this summon pool, then claim it, and then it will go towards the next summon pool. So that gives you some tiny modicum of agency. I think we covered everything, guys. Like I said, I'm streaming tomorrow here on YouTube at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central European. The final thing I want to say, sorry to end on a sour note, but the mercy system is such crap. So after 20 summons without a legendary, which would be really brutal, given the fact you have a 6% rate, it can happen, obviously, but you should be hitting 15 to 18 pulls typically, right? The expectation would fall in that 16 to 17 pull range, but if you go 20 or more, every time you pull after that, your chances increase by 4%. So previously, the base rate for a legendary is 6%. It goes to 10%, 14, 18, 22, so on, so on. But imagine you do your 20 pulls, you do 2 more, you still don't hit, and then you run out of summoning crystals of these Prism crystals. Well, the mercy counter resets after the pool ends. So that's just a strict negative. There's no carryover from pool to pool. I see no reason for that besides greed. I think that's very disappointing, and I did want to shout that out. However, I love dwarves. I'm going to go get myself an Admiral Black Tusk tomorrow. I hope to see you there. I've been Fastidious. I hope you learned something about Prism crystals, Prism shards, and the summoning pool. Share with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.